channel, and welcome to those who are new tuning in. Today I am Natita, the author of the book Wives Still Pray and the owner of the Fabric Beautique. We're an online faith-based Christian boutique that offer different gifts, accessories for the home, for friends, for family. I will leave a link to our website down in the description box, but I want to jump into today's video because it should be relatively short, but I thought it would be helpful. If you have been following along, if you're not subscribed, first of all, go ahead and subscribe. We are on the road to hitting 1,000 subscribers by our 10-year business anniversary, which is in April 2025. But if you have been following along over the past couple weeks, I have been sharing not only what our plans are for the Fabric Boutique in 2025, some goals that were set, but also sharing a few tips, business tips that I thought would be beneficial for other small business owners out there. And so if you missed last week's video, it was all about 8 tools that maybe you didn't think about that would be beneficial in your sewing studio, in your handcrafted studio, small business studio. So let's jump into today's video. All right, so today I am talking about, as you can tell by the title, heat press, and how to get the best use out of your heat press in your handmade business. So I follow other handmade content creators here on YouTube, and I have seen a lot of the great products that they have produced, the different things that they have created, and most, if not all of them, have a heat press. And it always amazes me when they are doing sublimation. We'll talk about the obvious different things you'll use your heat press for, but then I want to introduce something that maybe you have not thought about. Because one of the things that I have noticed in some of these other business vloggers videos is that they use their heat press for some of the things I'm going to mention today, but their heat press is tucked away when it's time to do mass producing of, say, book sleeves, of, say, toiletry pouches. Maybe you do little wallets or handbags and different things. And so, knock, 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 knock. I'm talking to you. And for those who maybe you're just getting the heat press, this will also be beneficial for you. I will be sharing just a couple things for you today to help you to utilize your heat press to its full potential. So, what are some of the typical ways we have seen people use their heat presses? And so we already know DTF transfer. You maybe have a gang sheet that you sent off and had printed off, or maybe you just have a few sheets, and yes, you then press that on your substrate, whatever that might be. Maybe it's a shirt, maybe it's a canvas tote, anything like that. Of course, you have sublimation. Perhaps you do a little sublimating of car coasters, of whatever the blank is that you choose to utilize to sublimate on. You would then use your heat press to go ahead and cure that design into that blank. And of course, old school, kind of what started the heat press, I don't know if we want to call it heat press craze, but just kind of that heat press journey for many, HTV vinyl. Yes, using HTV vinyl and using your heat press to heat press your HTV vinyl to your substrate. And so, yeah, those are all different ways that, and I want to make sure I'm looking at my list here, that you typically see. Even if you have maybe screen print transfers too, you will use your heat press to press that design into your substrate. But, hello, when you switch to sewing, if you are a handmade business and you decide to make, say, book sleeves, wallets, small items like that, or let me show you an example. Maybe it's not a small item, but it's an item that has a lot of pieces. For example, I have my Bible tote bag. I made this. This is made out of vinyl and a little faux leather. Lots of hardware, this handbag takes a lot of pieces to put together. I'm just showing you the inside, and yes, it is available on the website. But the point I want to make is, because there are so many pieces, you see this is what's called a gusset. And so you have the part that's across the top, if you can see that, between the lower and the lower and the upper piece. You have this band piece. A lot of these pieces, including the inside, you have the zipper pieces and everything on the inside, require some type of interfacing. You might use regular interfacing depending on your knowledge of interfacing. I've used Decaville Light, Decaville Heavy, and there's other type of fusible interfacings outside of Pellon. I just want to point that out. So whatever interfacing that you use, whatever you're making, book sleeves, usually people use the fusible fleece is an option, but if you use Pellon SF101, another standard type of interfacing, and you have pieces like this, and I am finishing off some book sleeves myself. And so one of the things that I want to emphasize for those who have a heat press, and maybe for those who don't have a heat press and you just use your iron, you might want to consider getting a heat press just to make life easier for you. Why? And I'll show up clips and different things throughout the video. You want to be able to, if you're sewing, hand making items, we all know, depending on what it is that you're making, it can take time to produce, to sew up that item. However, part of the process, as you go through your process, you know, part of your process is adhering your interfacing to that substrate. I'm just going to hold up an example. This is fusible fleece adhered to cotton to make a book sleeve. Do not tuck away your heat press. Put away the iron, people. Pull out your heat press and press your fusible interfacing to that item. It will go much faster. I did, just for an example, these are 50, and I'll be sharing the final of this in a future video, but I had 50 of those. It took me less than 30 minutes, maybe 45, because I took a little bit of a break. But because I have the various settings, what I do is I have on my wall. Right now, my heat press is set up in our garage until we get our system and everything set up out there. But right now it's just in the garage. And what I have up there is a printout. I created this many years ago. There, I have some written notes too, but I need to update this. But essentially, what I did was stick this to the wall, and you will see it in the clip, the cutaway here. It is a quick 1-2 punch for you. So if you are doing a lot of things, like I work with all kind of substrates with the heat press, right? So you can create your little list. Create all of the blanks that you use, all the different type of blanks that you use on a regular basis, all of the different substrates that you use. Say you use cotton, maybe you use a vinyl, maybe you use a faux leather. Yes, you can press all of those different items, but there are different heat temperatures and settings that you want to be mindful of, right? But the waterproof canvas, like my Bible tote bag is lined in waterproof canvas, and it's what the title is. Waterproof is waterproof. So when you're adhering to it, you can't do it long with the heat press for waterproof canvas. But anyway, get you a nice little cheat sheet. Put it on the wall. If you like to have things extra pretty, make you a nice laminate something that is there visible. So when you switch from sublimating, say a blank, to now you're going to do a bunch of book sleeves. Now you see, okay, for the book sleeve, I'm using denim. Here's what my press setting should be. This is what I should do. Oh, I'm now using cotton. Or no, I'm now going to use faux leather or vinyl. Have your list there with the settings. What I have is what the substrate is, what the type of interfacing that I might use for the substrate. Then I have the settings, whether it's 7 seconds, 10 seconds, and then some notes I put in about making sure things are straight and nothing is crooked, different stuff like that, little things like that. But one of the things I also want to point out too, if you are pressing, interfacing, and your interfacing is wrinkled, obviously you cannot iron out the wrinkles in interfacing, right? But what you can do, just lay it out and just smooth it and just stretch it. Just stretch it. That'll give you that flatness that you need to lay it down. And so that is one of the things that I highly suggest. Do not put up your heat press if you are making book sleeves, wallets, tote bags, whatever it is that you are making. And it will depend on the size of your heat press. The size of your heat press. My heat press is quite old. I bought it back in 2016 from Heat Press Nation. It's a 15 by 15. And so it's a clamshell. Still works beautifully. You might have different types, but can you imagine if you are pressing your book sleeves or whatever it is that you're able to put, now put a cutaway here. I was able to lay the whole book sleeve, the outer, front and back on my heat press. Go ahead and put my interfacing down, press 7 seconds up, and I'm gone. And I was able to do that for all 50. Like I said, it took me less than 45 minutes to do in bulk. And that takes a lot of the pressure, or it cuts down on the process. You're using your time more efficiently instead of standing up at an iron and you're just ironing and you ironing back and forth. All of this, you're taking way too much time. Hit that heat press, hit it, move, next. Hit it, move, next. And so, and then depending on the type of book sleeve that you actually make, once it is finished and you want that nice, you know, flat look and kind of finish it off, a lot of people iron over their project once it's complete. Go ahead, put it up under the heat press again. You can put Teflon over it, or your parchment paper, and just hit it just to give it a nice smoothness, a nice smooth finish after it's complete. And so that's just a way that I wanted to share for those who have a heat press. Cut down on your processing time. Do not put your heat press away and pull out your iron when it's time to fuse your interface into your substrate. Save yourself time and effort, and at least it will shave off a lot in your handmade process when you're making, like I say, book sleeves, mini wallets, canvas totes if you're making those, and you have to adhere your interface into the substrate. Get the best use out of your heat press, other than the typical HTF sublimation, DTF transfers, screen print transfers, things of that nature. Use your heat press to help you in your process to make the other items that you are making in your shop more efficient. So you all will have to let me know in the comments, what do you think? Have you done this? Have you thought about this? Yeah, let me know. Like I say, when you have something on your area, wherever your heat press is, that you can quick glance and figure out, oh, okay, this is what I need to change my temperature to. And maybe, here's the other thing too, maybe you have to change the pressure of your heat press. Put that on your note. Put that on your note sheet as well, wherever you post it, so you know, oh, this needs to have heavy pressure or lighter pressure, things of that nature. So I hope this was beneficial for you today. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Please don't forget to thumbs up this video, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. As I mentioned early on, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and we would like to reach that by or before April 22nd, 2025, our 10-year business anniversary. And if you are not following us, make sure you are following us over on Instagram and Facebook And I will leave a link down in the description box. Go ahead, jump on our newsletter list. We have a lot of things planned for 2025. And yes, those who are on the newsletter list will hear a lot about that first. And of course, you'll hear it over here on YouTube as well. All right, everybody, you all have a blessed rest of your week. You will see me next Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And let me know in the comments, was this helpful for you? All right, everybody. Bye.